going on, everybody? Today is a very special day. We are checking out a 2020 Toyota Supra launch edition for the first time. I have to give a huge shout out thanks to Hansel Toyota. They're a local Toyota dealership to where I'm from, and they're being gracious enough to allow us to check it out. These are one of the, this is the first batch that's landed, and as far as I know, you know, there aren't too many out in the streets right now. I've seen a few people get their hands on them, and they've had theirs for almost a week now, so I'm super excited to check it out, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. So without further ado, I'll get straight to the point, and we'll see you there. All right, guys, so this is David.
What's up, guys? From
Hansel Toyota, and he is going to be walking around this 2020 Supra and kind of just walking us through all of the features and all of the cool things that they've done to this model.
Yeah. So in particular, this is the 2020 Supra. This is the launch edition. They're only making 1,500 of these. This one in particular is number 654 out of 1,500. So we're really, really excited to have this. This is in the Renaissance Red 2.0 as well.
And so you were saying that roughly every dealer in the country is going to get one of these?
Yeah, out of the 1,500, there's about 1,200 dealerships. Every single one is essentially getting one launch edition. And a couple of the other ones that are like the bigger stores, such as, you know, LA, Vegas, places like that, Miami, are getting a couple extras.
Yeah. Nice. So so let's start around the outside.
I think a really cool thing just with this launch edition right off the bat, what you really notice is that all the launch editions are getting these black wheels and the red calipers on the bimbo brakes.
And what size are these wheels? 19 inch?
19 inches, yeah. So you have 19 inches. They're wrapped in a sports tire as well. So you really get some really good traction on there, going around the track. And I guess just around the streets, right? So another kind of cool thing that all the launch editions have, this one you can't completely tell because it's in the Renaissance Red, but all of them have the red caps on the mirrors.
So yeah, all of the launch editions have the red cap mirrors, the black wheels, and then is there any notable, the dash, right? Yeah, the dash. So the big thing is here. So the dash, the big thing that you see in here that you can tell it's a launch edition is right on the dash right there. Right there, it says launch edition 654 out of 1,500. Yeah, and then what's also cool is Toyota himself has signed. Oh wow. And this only comes with the launch edition, correct? This only comes, with one of the $1,500, 15 launch editions. And does the GR have to do with the launch edition or no? No, that just has to do with Toyota's racing. Okay. So every Supra has one of the GR Supras. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So let's go back here where we left off. We're talking about the wheels, the mirrors. Just kind of walk us through. I know it has like a lot of aero features I see. Like, for example, a popular thing I've seen is the roof right there has kind of like that bubble shape. Yeah, it kind of has the swoop in it. What it's doing is you can really tell the air is going to channel through here, and then it goes back and pushes down on this. So it is a rear-wheel drive car, so to be able to get, you know, more traction on the rear wheels, is pushing down the air on that spoiler right there. Awesome. Let's come around this way. The headlights are really, really cool. So what can you tell us about these headlights? Yeah, so the headlights here, you have 6 LEDs in here, as well as you have the really cool LED daytime running lights on there right now. Here, we can turn on the headlights. Yeah, I really like the 3 different pods it has for the headlights. So you gotta click it one more, I think. There you go. Oh, and they're adaptive. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you guys picked that up, but they moved up and down, which means that they're adaptive. So wherever you turn, like when you steer, they kind of tilt a little bit to illuminate the side. And so they tilt a little bit. What you're going to get is also on the bottom part. You'll get a brighter light there with the adaptive. It's kind of an interesting, it's against the law to have your headlights actually move. So what they do is they just kind of expand out when you're turning. Interesting. So all 3 of these would like move out essentially? Yeah, essentially they're kind of expanding out, so you get a wider range as you're going around the turn in the dark. Wow. And are all these, like I see these big vents in here, this is all going straight into the intake, right? Yeah, and some of them, what's cool is, even though these cars are like kind of sports cars, you're also going to be driving around the road. So this one in particular has an extra package where it has the adaptive cruise control. So that's why you would see down here, this is actually flushed. You have a radar behind here. Oh, I see. Or like a sonar that's shooting out and reading the cars. So, okay, that makes sense, because essentially I thought, like, you know how sometimes they have fake vents? Totally. You know, But this actually serves a purpose.
This actually serves a purpose, yeah. So down here you have your sonar. With all of Toyota's new ones, they're behind the emblem, but because these are kind of tilted up, you can't get it. So they're right here.
Nice. Cool. So, all right, let's make our way around to the side and then the back.
Yeah. So another really cool thing is just the body style.
Yeah.
Right? It's even wider in the back to be able to get extra traction and have more command around the track.
Yeah, you can, I mean, obviously you can even see, it almost looks like a wide body car because it has such a big just curvature and just profile in the back.
Totally, yeah.
That just, I mean, it gives it an awesome kind of, because it's a small car, honestly.
It is,
but it's very wide, like it has a presence.
Yeah, and so when it was actually kind of scary, because when I was backing up and putting it in here, all of a sudden I was like, oh no, will it fit that door? And it fit. Just makes you nervous driving one of these for the first time, for sure.
How was it even just like back, like just sitting in it? Like, can you kind of tell?
When you sit in it, when you sit in it, you're definitely sitting in like a racing command. I guess is the easiest way of describing it. You know, you really sit down low. You kind of have one of those like lean back almost. So you can actually go fast. And even for someone like myself who's 6'2", I have actually a ton of headroom. So they're comfortable cars, for sure. And you got the cool LED taillights as well.
Turn off the TV because we're hearing Jeopardy in the background.
The other cool thing is that, so down low on here, you have, this is actually a reverse light. These lights down here, a couple of these like kind of high performance more cars are getting them, and they're inspired by F1.
The rain lights?
The rain lights for the F1 cars. So they're starting to get those on these kind of sports cars. Yeah,
I've seen some people actually that don't have these, like on Subarus and 350Zs, like throw in kind of like that rain light type look.
Yeah, and it's totally one of those things to give it that kind of more sporty, edgier look. For sure.
Well, it looks really, I mean, just like sitting in the back, it's huge, super wide.
And I love, even though it's been as close to about 20 years since the last Supra was made, they're still keeping the classic Supra look. That's really cool. And they're also like, for example, the car technically should end here, but you can, like, with the way they use these curves to really push this out, because if you see it from behind, it like separates it pretty well. And so, I mean, there are some of these where it's like, this isn't an actual vent. But what it is still doing is actually making the body wider and giving you that bigger presence. And better traction on the track. And this really adds to it too. It's really minor, but this little flare right here really adds to it. Because it kind of just ties it all together to like where that curve ends right there. And what's crazy is this is actually the 5th generation of Supra. The first one was actually a Celica XX, and then they went to Celica Supra, and the 3rd generation was the first actual Supra. So it started as a Celica. Started as a Celica. Wow, I didn't know that. So we gotta tell them about this. So what were you telling me about the reinforcement? Kind of the classic thing for Supras, especially like the last generation, everyone knows of from Fast and Furious. It had that giant wing in the back. So Toyota didn't put that wing in the back. Instead, what they did is they reinforced here and here as well. So then you can also see they have extra reinforcements. So then if, these are essentially ready to be tuned and to become kind of that classic Supra that we all know and everyone loves. So yeah, if you guys are looking to put a larger wing on here, it already has the reinforcement, so you can literally just, I'm assuming, pop this off and then drill right into it. So you'd be able to put the big wing that on there. To have everything going. To give it that full Supra look. Give it that full Supra look. I'm interested to see what people do with like the wide bodies and the wings. I'm excited for it because they start getting crazy. That's kind of the traditional thing, is that like you would get these types of cars, the GTRs, the Nissan Nismos, the 370s, like, and you would actually get to customize them and make them your own tuner car. So, I mean, for the exterior, is there really anything left that we didn't cover? On the exterior, not too much. I mean, the exterior is really cool. It looks amazing as one of these cars. It definitely kind of stood away. These did kind of come out a big, I guess a big kind of talking point everyone likes to point out is that these are on like a Z4 platform almost. And they do share a lot of collaboration with BMW and with the Z4, including the engine and including the platform. but it's a good small, sports car. The Z4 is as well.
Yeah, and that's something. I mean, we can go ahead and pop the hood if you like.
Yeah, what's also cool about the hood is it's one of the traditional Supras where you have the double latch on here.
And so it pops forward, right?
Well, so you have to do one, and then you have to do two.
Oh, I see.
So that was when the traditional Supras. Let's see.
Oh, is it on the side?
Nope.
Oh, you just lift it up. Wow. This hood is massive.
Yeah.
That's one thing I just noticed. I didn't notice how big it was because it goes. I mean, I guess it goes all the way.
It goes all
to
the
the
way
edge.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it goes essentially from glass all the way. You can see all the way from the doors.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's a massive.
Wow. So what? Do you know exactly what engine BMW is using?
Yeah. So
like
they're using the 3.0 liter turboed straight six engine. And what's really cool is, so there's only a couple companies right now that are actually doing a sports engine, Mercedes and BMW. Right now, those are the really only two sport inline sixes that are on the market. So Toyota, traditionally, if you look throughout the entire history, all 5 generations, or all previous 4 generations of the Supra, every single one has an inline six. And so Toyota was looking at that, contacted everyone, and they got matched up and collabed with BMW.
So it's really, I think it's really cool that they were able to keep the 6-cylinder.
Yeah,
especially for the purists that like really like the Supra.
Yeah, and what's really cool about it is, a lot of people are saying, hey, it's just a BMW engine, but it's not completely a BMW engine. What it is BMW has this engine. They sent it over to Toyota. Toyota did their tweaks on it and made it to Toyota specifications, which everyone knows Toyota is really reliable and like a very good car. So to actually get to be up to one of Toyota's specs, and then they got it there and sent it back over to BMW to produce it.
That's what I was thinking too, was that, I mean, you can go ahead and buy this car, but the other thing is that you're also buying Toyota's reliability.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, who knows, these cars could get to 200,000-300,000 miles, you know, like typical Toyotas.
At the end of the day, it's still a Toyota. What's cool is the turbo in here, unlike the majority of turbos where they kick in about a little bit over 4,000 RPMs, this one both kicks in at the low RPMs and the high RPMs.
Oh, so there's like no lag.
There's no turbo lag on here, and that's a big thing when you're taking off in a sports car and you're going. You want to actually be able to get going, and so actually having that turbo kick in at low RPMs, push you forward, and then push you even faster at the higher RPMs.
They do a pretty good job of covering everything up too.
Yeah,
it's like super tight in there.
And that's one of the cool things. Mercedes been doing that with their engines, as well as BMW has been doing it, where traditionally inline sixes are really long.
Yeah.
Right. And so they've figured out how to shorten the hood, and kind of put things in different areas and not run as many belts.
Awesome. All right, so let's make our way into the interior.
So it's kind of interesting where you have to like essentially drop it.
You just drop crazy bit. All right, so now we're about to check out the interior, and we're gonna have David walk us through what he likes the most out of this, and kind of like the similarities you see in BMW, Toyota, but also the cool tech that comes along with BMW.
Yeah. So what's really cool right off the bat, I mean, you're sitting in here and you sit in a very commanding style on the road. And even being tall, like I was saying before, even me being pretty tall, still have plenty of room in here. You have some of the cooler things, wireless Apple CarPlay, a couple of other tech specs that a car to this caliber should have. But you can see it also in here. It does share some similarities with that BMW collaboration.
So I'll kind of show you guys what he's talking about. As you can tell, this is kind of like your typical kind of BMW setup. However, it's not really something to complain about because you are getting the BMW tech and luxury, like the carbon fiber. This knob is pretty familiar. This whole setup really, is kind of from, it is from BMW. However, you do get the perks of a BMW with the performance of Toyota's twist on the Z4 engine.
Yeah, totally. And so what's nice in here is even like little things like these screens, is you have a heads-up display also. A little bit hard to see in here.
Yeah, I don't think it might not even be on, I think, but People know what it is.
Yeah.
Now they don't.
And so with these screens, why BMW and a lot of car companies are going to these screens is because now it's a lot safer. You don't have to actually like turn your head and look down into the dash.
Oh, really?
To
Is that
actually
why?
see it. Yeah. And so now it's up here. What's another?
Oh, it's eye level with the dash.
It's eye level on the dash. And so that's a big thing, being able to have it there. So sports car, just right off the bat, it's a sports car, but also at the same time, it's still safe.
Right.
You're going to be driving around the track, but you can also daily drive it.
I mean, and the cool thing about having a Supra, and I mean, it's a 2020 now, so the cool thing is that you can have the luxury of modern day cars.
Yeah.
With like, you know, Supra back then wasn't having all of these, you know,
No.
safety features, you know, a sport mode, you know, parking sensors, all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. And people have also said things like, you know, the old traditional Supra was a manual.
Right.
And this one is now an automatic. But what it is now you have a dual clutch automatic, and there's nobody in the world that can shift faster than a computer.
Right.
So as you would be shifting, you would be losing speed. Now you're not losing speed, and you're just going to keep going forward.
And without that turbo lag, you're just
without that turbo lag as well.
Shoot ahead.
And traditional, like a traditional Japanese sports car is unlike the American sports cars. The American sports cars go really fast in a straight line, and then they have to stop. A traditional Japanese sports car is going really fast, not only in a straight line, but also around the apex and going around the entire track.
Yeah, so I mean, basically what you're saying is that this car was built for performance all around.
All the way around. Every single part of it, it's built for performance.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to be the fastest car from 0 to 60 in the world, because...
It's going still pretty fast, right above 4 seconds.
Right.
About 4.1 seconds, and you're getting to 0 to 60. So by no means is that slow.
Right.
But you're not going to be beating a Ferrari off the line.
Right, yeah. It has its limits, but for what it is, it's pretty amazing.
Exactly, yeah. And it sounds great as well.
Right.
And it's just really cool that they finally have a new Supra. It's been about 20 years.
I know. It's been long overdue, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% overdue.
And I mean, as you guys can see, so I'm 5'10" and a half, roughly 5'11". How tall are you?
About 6'2".
6'2". So we're both sitting pretty comfortably in here.
Yeah.
One thing I'm noticing is that, you know, the interior of the car, it kind of, you know, especially with this little bar right here, it hugs you. It's kind of like a cockpit. You know, it's geared towards the driver, but then at the same time, like, with the car being this small, you wouldn't think that you have this much room, like, you know, above your head.
I have a pretty decent amount. What's also cool is in the driver's seat right there, it's actually like a traditional power seat is like an 8-point power seat.
Right.
These are a 14-point. So you can actually squeeze it in so tighter. So then when you're going around the turns, you're not like jostling back and forth.
Like the edges of the seats?
Yeah, so these will actually can be powered and move in, at least on the driver's side. The passenger side, not completely.
That's amazing. I don't think I've ever sat in a car that can do that.
Really? Yeah. It's a cool thing. And a lot of kind of more of the sportier cars are getting it. Mercedes AMG cars have them now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. BMW M Series, they have them as well.
Yeah, because I was telling you, I had a ZL1.
Yeah.
And that car had amazing seats. I really liked it, but it didn't have that adjustable.
Yeah.
You know,
and so
it's not lumbar. What would you call this? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't know the exact term, man.
It just kind of hugs you.
Yeah, but it hugs you. It grabs like kind of like I guess almost your love handles, I guess, and kind of squeezes in on your sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, this car. I mean, even just feeling the knobs and everything, the quality of the build quality is really nice.
It's impeccable.
They didn't really cheap out on anything, and I mean, this is carbon. I'm noticing that the dash is carbon, and that's what we were talking about with the numbered. So it's 654 out of 1500, and that's just like a cool little thing that you can get when you get the launch edition.
Actually having a numbered car.
Right. Which is not common.
Not common at all, especially with cars nowadays. They're just mass produced. So having a car like something like this and having it numbered and having it signed by Toyota himself is a really big deal. So these are definitely more, at least the launch editions are for Toyota fanatics.
Right. And so my last question is, what kind of gas mileage can you expect in this car? And kind of random, but what I saw, it's a JBL sound system. Have you heard anything about that at all?
It sounds awesome.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, no, it sounds really cool. And gas mileage, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a V6. Even though it's turboed, you still get decent, but you're about 26 or so.
Okay.
So you get fairly good gas mileage,
I mean,
considering.
Pretty good to daily drive as well. Yeah. You get a fun car that's, I mean, a Supra, and
it's a Supra, yeah.
And affordable gas.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
Do you want to start it up?
Yes, would that be? Can we do that?
Go for it.
Here, let me. What you know? What? I'll have you start it.
Okay.
And I'll stand behind the car so I can hear it.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good.
Have it be in sport so we get the better exhaust.
Yeah.
So that right there was in sport mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds really good for a stock car.
It sounds great,
you know?
Yeah.
And then also I noticed it kind of started like burbling a little bit and starting to get in the pops.
Totally, yeah. And so
and that's part of their tune, right?
They're tuned, exactly that. And especially when you get into that sports mode, they are tuned. Suspension gets different as well. Suspension starts getting tighter. So then you have that, again, more traction, being able to control yourself around the track.
I'm super excited to see what people start doing with the what's it called, aftermarket platform.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with like the wing, the wide body, the exhaust. Because if it's already kind of like burbling and doing that, imagine with
just wait.
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing. Actually, having a Toyota sports cars now is just an amazing thing. We have had the 86, but it is at the end of the day a 4-cylinder engine. So now you have this V6 engine that already sounds amazing. It's a Supra as well, which is just killer. In the last 20 years, we haven't had one. So now you have that. You have an amazing engine. And the collaboration with BMW to produce this car.
Not to mention the community and the fan base that comes with this car.
Oh my gosh,
is insane.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And we're getting people of all ages. I've had people who are well into their 70s that are looking and wanting to come and see this, and you have people, you know, that their parents watch Fast and Furious with them, and that are like our age who grew up on Fast and Furious, that are now coming and seeing that there's finally a Supra.
Yeah, it was funny because I was telling my dad I was going to come look at this car, and he was telling me that he actually had a, I forget the exact year, 80-something Supra that he bought. You know, it was his second car that he ever bought. And I had no idea, and it wasn't until this conversation came up, he's like, oh, they brought him back? And I was like, So, I mean, even he was interested. So like you said, kind of, you know, the full spectrum of, you know, young people, older people, male, female, you know, every single person has wanted this car, and so now it's finally back. I had a roommate when I was living in Sacramento that had one of the old like Fast and Furious Supras. Oh, really?
He was constantly working on it, and so it's cool seeing, like, knowing that being 4 years ago or something, and seeing that to now seeing this, and it's a brand new one.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
It's like,
it's just you guys have to come check it out. So again, so where can they find you guys?
So we are at Hansel Toyota in Petaluma. Come by, say hi to us. We have other new programs going on. Toyota just released Smart Path. We're one in 5 dealerships in the entire country to have the cool system. It's a new online buying experience. So we're really trying to change everything.
Wow.
And we have a Supra.
So similar to the Tesla experience, where you can go and buy a car online. Is that what you?
Basically, yeah. Basically, it's all just a really easy kind of like customer-based experience. All done on iPads. We pull up cars for you.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's way different now.
Well, yeah. Well, guys, definitely come check them out. This car is going to be in their showroom unless someone comes and buys it, unless one of you guys want to come buy it. And then they have a few more on the way.
Yeah, so we have 2 more on the way. What's kind of cool is this one right now is actually still in transport mode, so you can't even get out of first gear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these launch editions, they come in transport mode when you buy the car, and then it takes 3 days for Toyotas to send you another key from Austria to actually be able to officially drive it.
So even if you guys sold it right now, they couldn't drive it off?
You wouldn't necessarily be able to drive it off. You would have to wait a couple days. And it's just, these are such in high demand. These are sports cars at the end of the day.
Yeah. Wow.
These are cool.
Well, thank you so much, David. I really appreciate it. Of course. And yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and link all of their info down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to just reach out to them. Do you guys have social medias?
I actually don't think so. I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, well, if they do, I'll find them and I'll put them in the link down below. And if they don't, go to their website, find their phone number.
HanselToyota.com. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be there. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Well, thank you so much.
And guys, stay tuned for the next video. And I hope you guys like this review of the Supra, because I know I did.